The lady has talked. And hello, squiddies or squid army. How are you doing? Um, this is the squid guy. Here with Melby, not from the Spice Girls. I thought it was the Spice Girls. I was like, ooh, I'm like this,
I
and then
mean, or maybe I
yeah, well, or it could be, yes.
am.
All disguise. You know how Hollywood can disguise anybody. But anyway,
Facts.
fact is it. But she is a fellow Long Islander.
I am.
For some people that don't know what Long Islanders are, we are just people that live on an island that looks like a whale.
We are New
Basically,
Yorkers.
yeah, we're New Yorkers, but we live on an island that looks like a whale. Just think of
Mhm.
Popeye and olive oil on a whale, kind of thing. I don't know if that works out like that, but still.
What
My girlfriend's probably listening to this going, what the fuck's he talking
are
about?
they talking about?
What the hell? We talking olive oil and Popeye. I'm like, ah.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
especially, I can't swim, so if the thing goes down,
Oh.
that's it. I got to use a rubber ducky and those like flotation things, like on my
Yeah.
arms.
I'll pull you ashore, don't worry.
Oh, thank you very much.
I got you.
Yeah, the people, I love it. I get the tugboat coming in. Hey, no problem. Hold on, we gotta get Frankie. Come on, Frankie. It's like he's sinking. No, no, don't go. But Melby is from a podcast called Bitches Are Podcasting. That is like the greatest title ever. I thought thinking about Tattoo Squid podcast was like a brainstorm itself, but bitches be no, goddamn. But then she's from Long Island, so now we know. You
Yep,
know,
it makes
you know,
sense now.
there's a lot of bitches in Long Island that are very uh, they hold their own.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. We are
So
a wild bunch.
so Mel
Mhm.
B. Well, I'm not going to ask what the B stands for. We'll say brainstorming. You know, but how are you? Welcome to the
Thank you.
humble abode of the Tattoo Squid podcast.
I like
Um,
it.
yeah, I love the core.
Mhm.
I try to do some stuff in here.
The
But
ambiance is just
the
on point.
ambiance, it is kind of warm in here. I want to go and do an air condition, but I found out later down the line I had it on, and it's like so much noise. And a lot of people that do
Yeah.
podcasting know this for a fact that you don't want to have some kind of noise reduction
Mhm.
or noise whatever going on because nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
We're lucky we can get everything situated on here,
Mhm. Mhm.
and
And then
and
trying to edit any of that out is just it's painful.
oh, especially the e,
Mhm.
and I
Mhm.
still do that shit, so you're gonna hear it probably, but I'll try to do my best. Compared to when I started doing the shit, like 2.5, maybe 3 years ago, you know, and
Yeah.
you know, and it's like that whole thing. When did you start doing the podcasting? Was it around COVID, or did you do this for like I'm not gonna say the beginning of time. Uh, like when you were in Long Island, and
Mhm.
did you do the podcasting then, or when you got married? Yeah,
No, it's me and my best friend. We were at a bar. What was
it always
this?
starts at
It
a
was like
bar.
when COVID. Yeah, it does. Any story I have, it's usually like, well, I was drinking, and then it's just I'm not gonna lie. So my bestie, my co-host Jackie D, we were at a bar. This would probably be we just celebrated a year of the podcast back in March. So March of yes,
Congrats.
thank you.
Yep.
So we had March of last year. So this is like when things were opening back up and everyone was like, COVID's still a thing, but it's also not a thing, but kind of still a thing.
Yeah.
So we were at a bar because they were open and we could go. I live in like the Northern Virginia area now, out like right outside of DC. So uh, you know how the cities are. They okay.
Oh yeah.
So we show up at the bar and we're sitting there, and my friend, we love to read and we love to watch movies. We love to drink. And it just came up where I was like, we could just do all of that and then talk about it. And it
Yeah.
just we did our first episode of the podcast itself is actually Read, Watch, or DNF. That's the legit name of it. But we did The Devil Wears Prada because that our first podcast was all about like book to screen adaptations.
Yeah.
So we would read the book, watch the movie. Sometimes we'd swap, we'd do opposites, and then we'd come together drinking, usually already drunk, because we would pregame. And then we would talk about how the book differs or like who did it better. That's the whole premise of read, watch, or DNF. DNF is a bookish term where it means did not finish, but we use it for like don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our first episode was The Devil Wears Prada. We did that because that's actually based on a book. And we were just doing this for fun, but we didn't realize how big of a thing this was because it just blew up. Because people are like, either they're like, I didn't realize that was based on a book. I didn't realize there was an adaptation for that book. And
Yeah.
then also we're drunk and I like to go on tirades. So it's a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
me, it's a lot of me bitching. So apparently people like that. So we've been doing that for a while. So we still have that. And then we have a second podcast where we call the DNF Happy Hour. And we just get together on there and we record it after the main episode. So we
Yeah.
are definitely drunk by the time we get to this episode. And it's a quick, like 20-30 minute, and we talk about our personal reads, crazy reads. Sometimes they're just smut reads. Like yeah. Sometimes we just talk about that.
Cover your
Um,
ears, Frankie. Cover your ears. You know.
and we have our other best friend, A, comes in when we do like the horror episodes. We did some splatter punk. I don't know if you're, it's like extreme horror, body horror types of
Yeah.
books. She's a baby when it comes to that stuff. So we force it on her naturally.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Especially when you're drinking, you're like, listen, you're gonna peer pressure. You're gonna listen to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she goes for it. She'll admit she's like, I just do whatever Mel tells me to do, and I'm happy with it. So yeah, we have 2 podcasts. We did like towards like the end. I hate saying that because you're gonna have people that are like, it's not over, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we did it because we were bored and it was a hobby for us, but now it's kind of big.
You know, it's funny. It's like when I started doing it, it was just like I try to abide by what everybody else is doing. You know, at the time, because I was like in the beginning, I'm just using this. This is what I was
Yeah,
using. So I get onto my um Anchor, that what it was before, but then now it's Spotify for podcasters.
got it.
And but at that time back then, I would go and click on that and then talk like this, and I'll just talk about different shit. And then sometimes I'll get other people and then call them up and then bring them into the whole thing. And but then now with Zoom, it just blew up. But then when I went to what the hell was it called? There's like this uh there's this thing we called that was my dog, folks. So if you heard barking, that's a demon dog back there. But anyway, um but then I went to this one place. I wanted to get some kind of stuff, like the whole you get like stuff like this,
Yeah,
the ins and outs of like for microphones to headphones or whatever. And
because
the
it
guy,
matters. You find out
well,
that it matters.
because I don't really do like the headphones that much or even the microphones. I use this and then that's it.
Yeah,
Because we in the beginning we couldn't hear each other, but now it's like I didn't really need it. I'm like, you can just hear from this.
yeah,
You know, no feedback. There's no, like,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. Yeah, exactly. No feedback going in the background and shit like that. But the guy was like, so you need it for your business. I'm like, no, I'm just doing it for fun. It's gonna be a business. And
Mhm.
and I'm like, I know, I'm just doing it for fun. Yeah, and me and him are just like, obviously just butting heads. And then now I thought about it, I'm like, the guy is fucking right.
He was.
it is a business if you want it to be a business.
Hmm.
So if you're just doing for fun and like, listen, hey, we're just bullshit, blah 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 blah, and then but then also now you got a website, now you got this, and
Hmm.
now you're getting shirts together, you're doing this, and you're trying to sell this, and you want to sell that,
Hmm.
and you're getting money, and you're getting people coming in,
Hmm.
and now you're looking for people to make your logo, and
Hmm.
that's money too, and so
We
it
were
is a
there.
bit.
We had stuff commissioned too. Our banner, our like our logo as well.
Yeah.
It so much. It became so much of a business in the span of a year that we actually just launched a publishing company.
See, I didn't even
Yeah,
get there.
like this is how it just blew out of proportion. So yes, your guy was right.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit, and now to the point where I had the name, and you have to trademark it
Hmm.
because certain people are like, oh, I like this name, or they'll think of the same name. That's why I bought my name,
Hmm.
and I'm like, nobody else has this name, because it's in the back of this, this unholy, nobody doesn't want to be in this brain. Let's just say that. Nobody doesn't want to be in there to visit. They're like, holy shit, why is it sticky? How come there's, paint wall?
What's that smell?
Yeah, what's that? Yeah, what's that smell? Why is epidermis all over the place? Yeah. And folks, I'm not a mean guy. A lot of podcasters that I talk to, and they know me. I'm the sweetest, nicest guy around. But I like weird shit. For
Yeah,
God's sakes, I got Frankenstein in the corner of my fucking room.
yeah.
Wearing handcuffs and a bib, like he's going to Red Lobster. You know, but it's
Yeah, no, we love
yeah,
weird shit too. We That's like the whole premise of our publishing company that we just launched because we like weird books and traditional publishing says that there's not a market for it,
yeah.
that people don't want to buy it. And social media has proven that is super wrong. So we want extreme horror books, like the weird paranormal romance books. We call them monster bookers. Yeah, like we are advocating for that because and actually like for art that we're using, we use tattoo artists to do book covers.
Oh God, that's what
Yeah.
I should have done. Dude, I'm an idiot. I forgot. I got tattoos. I can add tattoo arts. You know. Oh God, yeah. He could have made some really good shit. God. All right, now I got to write this down.
Hmm.
Hold on. Tattoo artists. Not for their bodies. Okay. But uh, you were talking about books. So and a lot of people see me. They're like, "You read?" I'm like, "Yes, I like book learning." And no, but there is a book, and we were talking about how my wife had, a certain
Hmm.
illness, and for me to pass the time, going into hospitals and that, I would go and look for a book. Like
Yeah.
when you go to get some kind of get well toy or get well, bag,
Yeah.
whatever,
It gives you,
balloon.
yeah.
And I found this book, and when I started reading it, I could not put it down. And I'm not much of a reader. Like back then, books were books. Nowadays everybody's going
Mhm.
onto the computer just to read shit. They do this and that. But one was there's two artists called Preston and Childs.
Mhm.
I don't know if you know who they are. Basically, they do their own individual shit, but when they team up, they do a series called the Pendergast series, which
Okay.
Pendergast is a FBI agent that looks like a funeral director.
Okay.
It's almost like what's that show that deals with the aliens and
X
everybody uses
Files?
X-Files, yeah. So think of like the Smoking Man, you know,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
So you think of the Smoking Man, but he's like the FBI agent, which basically he is. And
Okay.
like that. But then he goes on, and you find out backstories, like his brother's a serial killer, and he teams up with like uh, a lieutenant of for the New York Police Department, which they made a movie of one of the books called Relic. Back,
Oh,
yeah, back in
yeah.
the late '80s or early '90s, I believe.
I think it was 90s, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like they have the lieutenant. It's a museum. Well, not a museum, like something that they get stuff and they analyze it. Yeah, it's a museum, basically, I guess.
Yeah, it's like
And,
it's like some sort of like archive thing.
yeah. So then
Mm-hmm.
they get something from another country, and the guy sends it to them, and then turns out there's like this metamorphous kind of like
Mm-hmm.
animal that's in there that's stowed away, eats human brains, but then uses the brains of knowledge and then becomes an entity of some sort.
Yeah.
Uh, which is a great film. It's a great read, and it all goes together. So it is called the Pendergast series, and
We
each
might have
book
to
that
do this for our podcast.
yeah, that's why I figured I'd bring it up there, and then I read Stephen King novels, and
Okay.
and every once in a while I get like because I think the one Stephen King that I love as a book and as a movie is the movie It.
Mm-hmm.
So that is like, even though it's a mini series, that is the
Oh, so you
greatest.
like the 90s one?
Yeah, the updated version. I know everybody wants blood. I'm like, so do I, but
Yeah.
uh, you can't fuck around with like the original. The original was a
Yeah.
miniseries, okay, fine, but it was like a great looking thing. Yeah, it's a trend of like the late '80s or whatever. But
Oh, what's his face that played Pennywise?
yeah, Curry.
Yes, yeah, Tim Curry.
Yeah, Mister. We call it, drag. Transvestite. We call it.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day and all that, and he did Clue, and that's an
Mm-hmm.
awesome movie as well, with star-studded
Yeah.
cast as well.
Yeah.
I look at the star-studdedness because I love how Hollywood has the the old style of making movies. Like they have knowledge.
Mm.
They got knowledge. Like, okay, we're gonna do this. Oh, we're gonna do this nowadays. And Hollywood, I'm sorry, I'm picking on you again, but you guys have no original thought in your heads.
Hmm. I mean,
It's just
everything that's been coming out recently has just been, a remake or a reboot or
exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, why do I need to see it again? I've seen it before. Like they Nightmare on Elm Street. They did a
Mhm.
remake of Nightmare on Elm Street with a guy that's 5 foot.
Wait, they did a remake of Freddy Krueger?
Yeah.
I
So
did not even know this.
yeah, they made a remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, with a guy that's 5 foot tall, but he was in what's that superhero, that dark superhero movie, like Dr. Manhattan.
Oh,
uh
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, oh my God, it's a graphic novel.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh, well, anyway,
the Watch or something?
the Watchman, thank you.
Watchmen, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and the guy named Rorschach, we call that, has the like, oh, what does this ink blotch tell you
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it is? But he has a mask that turns into the ink blotches.
yeah. Mhm.
And they
Oh,
use
that actor is Freddy Krueger.
yeah.
Oh, he is tiny.
Yeah, he's a stubble kind of guy.
I mean, he's
Uh,
a great actor, don't get me wrong, but
oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean,
that
but
is,
if they have a superhero movie, like if there's one called Alpha Flight, and there's a little guy that's
yeah.
in Alpha Flight called Puck, that guy would be great for that one, but not for Freddy Krueger. You know.
I gotta
So,
look at this remake. I had no idea. That's uh, so like within the last couple of years, or
yeah, like way back. I mean, uh, hold on, let me. No, I want to try to look for it myself too. Uh,
2010.
it's yeah, somewhere around there. Uh, hold on, I'm ready to use we call it the type in the on the keyboard that I have not don't have plugged in. uh, remake. Yeah, here we go. 2010 holds the
Yeah.
record of
Okay. Yeah.
the widest Nightmare on Elm Street release, beating out Freddy versus Jason, which I don't understand that.
I saw Freddy versus Jason in a theater in Queens at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was packed, and it was like opening night, and everyone was just a huge ruckus. It was the best experience of ever going to a movie. It was hilarious.
Jackie Earl Haley plays Freddy Krueger. Um, like like we were talking about, he's in the Watchmen movie,
Yeah.
which is great. I love the Watchmen. It's just like this folks. This is what I was trying to when I try to reiterate certain things about um actors that go and play in movies should not go against other movies that they were in. I mean, I don't know if it makes sense, but like, all right, let's put together Captain America, which
Okay.
is
Evans.
Chris Evans. Thank you. Um, so he's doing Captain America, but before that, he was the Human Torch in Fantastic Four with Jessica Alba, um,
Yes. Yeah.
and all that. So he went from that to Captain America. Then you have Ryan Reynolds be Green Lantern, but then now he's Deadpool, which he makes fun of the whole fucking thing,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Mm-hmm.
great. But there's other guys that would go from this one to this one. Oh, I'm going to play this part. I'm going to play this one. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, why? Just because it's there? I'm like, no, give like an unknown guy. You get the facial feature of an unknown guy that would do it. You know,
No,
and
I
but
get you. Yeah.
that's my thing. But
Because it can be distracting. Obviously, you want
yeah, no,
maybe like,
definitely. Especially when you're watching. Oh my God, it's Freddy Krueger. Well, why is he so fucking short? You know. But then they could put it saying, oh well, it's a dream. He could be 5 foot, and he could be 7 foot. I'm like,
I'm gonna watch this movie now. Like after we're done, I'm gonna pull it up and make my husband watch it with
yeah, it's just like, what are you doing? It's like Squid told me to fucking watch it. You know,
me. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it on.
like why?
No, we don't.
Bring out the cake. We're gonna need it. You know, I mean, honestly, there's a. What's your favorite horror movie? Like
Mm.
if you had to go to, you get home and you're like, you know what? I'm in the mood for somebody's guts to be flying out or something. And what movie would that be?
Okay, so I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna give you two because they're based on different criteria. The
Okay.
first one is based purely on nostalgia. It holds a special place in my heart. I grew up with a father who had no sense of what's appropriate for children, so
Hmm.
I've been watching horror movies since I was 3. Uh, but The Exorcist for me is special place in my heart. We did an episode on it too. We read the book. The book is just as good as the movie. Cannot
Yeah.
beat it. Absolutely stunning. Now, contemporary horror movie. I love this because it gives the campiness that I think we miss from like your old school slasher films and like 80s, 90s horror. But it's Blumhouse's Barbarian.
Oh yeah, the one that was recently, not recently out, but a
Mhm.
couple of years ago.
Yeah, like yeah, like two years ago or something.
Yeah, yeah,
I
dude.
love that movie.
I saw it
It
too, and I mean it
cracks
was
me up.
really interesting, especially the guy. Folks, I tell you, I love movies. I'm not good with fucking names. Uh,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The guy who owns the property, that
no,
dude,
no, no, no.
or
Well, no, no.
oh, Skarsgård.
No, no. We call that guy. You know, he was in a lot of Rob Zombie movies. You know, it's like whatever the Rob Zombie movie, you see that guy in the movie. You
Mhm.
know, so the one that owns the property, but the kid that owns the house, and he's like
Oh yeah. Hold on a second. I have him right
Josh, I
here.
think Josh.
Justin Long.
Yeah, I knew it was something with J. Yeah,
It's so good.
yeah, and like that whole see, that's what I like. Somebody like that can take on a role that's not in his comfort zone. He's always done comedy stuff. He's always done
Well,
like
he kind of started out with Jeepers Creepers.
oh well, yeah, no Jeepers Creepers, and then there was another movie, Drag Me to Hell.
I actually really love that movie.
Yeah, especially
It's
that
so
old.
good.
I'm gonna break this on you. You know, you know, like what the fuck? You know,
I love horror movies that don't take themselves too seriously, but are also like they give you the spooky, unsettling, or jumpy scares.
yeah,
So
yeah. Especially when you're sitting there, you're like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Oh, Jesus.
yeah.
What the?
Oh my
Yeah,
God. I think I watched that 3 times because
oof,
I was like, I
that
watched it
hurt.
myself just to see it. And then I forced Jackie to watch it. I tricked her.
Man,
And then
I love this. I love her. I love her. I love Mel. You know, it's like I tricked her. I did it. You know, she did this, and it's like she made me do it. Yeah,
I, and the fact that Jackie will just go with it. Jackie is my ride or die. And she's like, I trust you, even though I break her trust on the regular. So we joke around with each other because I tell her like, listen, you are I got your back. You are safe from everyone on this planet, but not me.
it's like that thing. Like you know, oh my God, she made me do it. And then you're just going like, yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah. Keep going. I'm gonna go and watch more. Okay. Yeah, kill her. No, it's good.
Like somebody will like if somebody wants to disrespect her, I'm literally like a pit bull. I'm on it. But then I will turn to her and be like, "You stupid bitch."
Yeah. Oh, we Long Islanders are just like so fucking sinister and wicked.
She's from Pittsburgh, so
Oh,
she's got thicker skin.
yeah. They most of them do. You know, it's like, but they don't like driving in rainy weather for some reason. But you know, I'm not
Mm-mm.
making fun of Pennsylvania people. I lived out there
You
10 years,
can.
but you guys don't know how to drive in rain. Yeah,
You
it's
hear
like
that,
it's
Jackie?
drizzling. Let's
Mm.
slow down. You know, like
I
really?
can say that she doesn't drive slow in the rain, and actually, sometimes I fear for my life, and I have to just slowly like look out the window and disassociate while she's driving in torrential downpour. And then she says the same thing about me. She says I drive like a race car driver, and I'm like,
See, now
nothing
I got the
compares to you,
different
Jackie.
thing. My wife, when I was married, we called. She's like, "You drive like a grandma," and I'm like, "What? Really? I drive like a grandma? I think I drive very well. You know, I get around. I don't go and do like mm, like that."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But my first encounter of my wife's driving, she drove a 1997, I'm gonna say, Hyundai Scoop.
Oh,
So it's a very small car, not
mhm.
small, but it's very slick, but it's small
Yeah.
for me because I'm 6'1", and she's like 5'2", the size of Freddy Krueger, the remake of Freddy Krueger, and but then I took the lesson from my wife's Rottweiler. I learned from that dog. And the reason I say this, because when I sat in the car and she was driving, she's an expert driver. She can smoke a cigarette, have a bagel in one hand, steer the steering wheel, and then hit we call it, into second and third fucking
Oh,
gear. and it's smoking another cigarette, lighted up while she's having the bagel, and the ashes are on it, and blah 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 blah. And then she's weaving in and out of traffic, and I'm like, what the fuck? Holy shit! Go like this.
It's like, what can I hold on to?
And, and then I see the Rottweiler, and he had the smartest fucking idea I ever seen. Here's the seat, right? The seat is like this.
Yeah.
The door's right here. His head is wedged between the seat and the door. So he cannot see out the fucking window. I'm like,
He's like,
I'm
Jesus, take the wheel. We'll get there when we get there.
he's looking at me, he's looking at me like, Dre, you're on your own. I've seen this before. And I'm like, I'm going back there with you, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, you just
I'm,
stick your head on the other side.
I'm like, I'm sitting in the back seat with the dog. That's it. We're all gonna tremble in fear. Yeah,
She's like, that's fine. Every
that's
time she
fun.
stops, she's like, but did you die? You're like, I
Yeah.
guess
Did you
not.
did you get to where you want to get to? And then one day, and I'm not trying to make this as a podcast about my wife, and this is just some funny shit I had to get out because this is like something I didn't think of. Um, she was going. She lives in Lindenhurst, uh, but then she would go to college out in Southampton.
Oh,
So yeah, so the drive. The drive is
yeah.
it's real. Yeah. So she wakes up late. Not late, but like she had to be at school at like say 8 o'clock. It's
Mhm.
7:45. It takes like an hour or so to
Yeah.
get to where you need to get to. So she's doing Mach 5 down Sunrise, going all the way down there.
Sunrise with all the lights?
Yeah.
Or,
No, Sunrise doesn't. Well, there's certain lights, and then once you get past like Lindenhurst, you get to the open stretch after the lights.
oh, okay. I
Yeah,
was
so you
gonna,
get to
like,
the
by the
stretch.
mall and everything. That's all lights and shit.
No. You're looking at like Lindenhurst and Copeg and everything else that has
Yeah.
like the lights, and then once that opens up and makes 3 lanes, then you have no
Hmm.
other lights as it is. So
I'm tracking that.
she's hauling it out with the Hyundai Scoop, and then she gets pulled over. I come to the house, her parents' house, and I'm sitting in the bedroom watching TV. She goes, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing? No problem." She goes, "I got pulled over by a cop." And I'm like, "Really? For what?" She goes, "Speeding." I'm like, "No, really? You got pulled by a cop?" I'm like, "Well, how much was the
Yeah.
ticket?" She goes, "I got out of the ticket." I'm like, "Really? How'd you get it?" It's like, "Well, that's why I got these." And I'm like,
I will listen. There's something about Suffolk County cops, they will not give us tickets. I've been
yeah,
pulled over numerous times. I was doing probably over 100 on the Long Island Expressway. I got pulled
yeah, no.
over and they were just like, do you know how fast you're going? I'm like, not really. I mean, yeah, kind of. It's like, listen, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
You need to slow down. I'm like, okay. It's like, slow down and walked away. I was like,
And most of the people that's gonna watch this, like, is gonna be like, I'm hoping is gonna be like family members on my wife's side, and like, yeah, we can see her doing that.
"Mhm,
It's
mhm."
like, there's times where she pisses off her father, my father-in-law at the time. It's like, she brings home all these animals, and I'm like, your dad is gonna kill me because I should be the voice of reason. That you should not bring
Mhm.
this dog or this cat or this horse or this bull. You know, and
Yeah.
you know, and also speaking of bull, I remember like years ago, and I was talking to Scott from I forgot the name of the podcast. Oh shit, Shoot the Flick.
Mhm. Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
podcast. So me, and he was from Long Island. I think he lives in your area now. I think in like Virginia or South Carolina or something like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
So he moved like down that way, but he was in Long Island. So he's telling me, he goes, "Hey, did you hear about the bull?" I'm like, "The bull?" Because I'm not one for news. I'm like, I don't give a shit about news. I'm like, I never watch the news. I'm like,
Yeah.
unless my girlfriend tells me about it, then that's it. She goes, "Why don't you watch it?" I'm like, it's so boring for me. That's it. I'm like, why? That's why they got newspapers. newspapers. You can look at the newspaper and then you can see. But
Yeah.
there was a bull that runs around Long Island, because it was supposed to go to slaughter, but escaped.
Oh my
And it
God,
was
why does this sound so familiar? What year was this?
this was like a couple of years ago. I think around the same time they had that short guy for fucking Nightmare on Elm Street.
2010.
Yeah,
I
probably,
want
or
to
maybe later.
say
Yeah, that
I
no,
think
no,
my mom called me to tell
yeah,
me about this.
yeah.
That's so
And,
funny.
and then every once in a while I'll see Scott, and then on Twitter, and then we'll go. We're like, the bull is on 15 days of freedom. He didn't get, and I'm like thinking, I'm like,
Because when they caught him, didn't he didn't go to slaughter, right? Wasn't
no,
it
he
like
didn't. The
somebody
bull did not go to the slaughter. He went to like some kind of
a
pasture,
rescue?
a
Yeah.
rescue thing, and all that. Which that's what they want to tell us, but he probably did became glue or some kind of something. I don't know. But
No, I bet you with all that coverage, some rescue came out of the woodworks and saved
yeah,
him, which
yeah.
I'm happy. I want that. I don't want to go and slaughter.
That that's like the funniest shit I ever heard. I'm like, really? And it's like in my backyard. It was actually in uh what the fuck was it? Shit. It was a Mastic Beach or Shirley, I think it was. It was in that area.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
then and I was living in Mauritius at the time. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So then we just look it up and you see bull, and I'm like, the bull, no bull about it. Yeah. And I think we called the bull escape, you know, or escaping. I think I called the bull
Yeah.
escaping. You know,
I like that.
yeah. So folks, you get like some kind of stuff that goes on in your backyard or stuff in your neighborhood or your state. Don't hesitate to message me and tell me about it. If it's far fetched, like, hey, the Jersey Devil came out and bought groceries, or something. you know, and there is Long Island like horror that you hear about, like you go to certain
Mhm.
areas and and you're like, oh, this is scary. Because my mom and dad, they worked at
Mhm.
Pilgrim State, for like so many years, like 40 years. And, oh, bless you.
Thank
And
you.
then, or is that a cough?
It was both.
Oh, it was a cough sneeze. So it was a sneeze.
Mhm.
It was a
Yeah,
sneeze.
I just got it all out in one go.
It was it was a snuff. It was a snot and a cough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, snuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then my friends Jerry and his girlfriend Evelyn, they come up to me and they're like, Trey, yeah, we're gonna go to Pilgrim State. We're gonna see if there's any ghosts. I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm like, isn't there security going around there? Because they're saying this when my dad is like in the yard,
Yeah.
So and he worked there for 40 fucking years. So
Yeah.
it's like he knows that it's blocked off. There's certain areas that you can't go into. And then my
Because they
dad's like,
started closing it off like what, like early 2000s, I think, or
yeah,
like
because
late 90s.
they start redirecting all the patients to different other places.
Mhm.
And believe me, when I was younger, and here's a fun. This is this I love this story. This is a fun story when I go and my mom used to work. My dad worked in the mornings, so he worked like 8 o'clock in the morning to the basic 5 o'clock, whatever.
Yeah.
And my mom worked like midnight, like she worked the overnights. She worked like
Okay.
midnight to 4 in the afternoon or something like that. And
Oh my
then
God.
somebody or that's way too many hours, right?
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
a lot of hours. It's like
so
16 hours.
all right, so like we'll cut down to like say 8 hours or whatever. And
Got it.
then somebody that doesn't come in, they get mandated. So now they have to work those hours because that person didn't come in to relieve
Yeah.
you. So she
Mhm.
she had to do that 16 hours.
Oh my God.
So now my dad has, like, all right, I'll come and bring you like lunch or whatever. So me and my brother, and my sister, when we were younger, we went with him to go down there.
Yeah.
And the shit that you see when you come down a back alley lot to give your mom, and she comes out of this one door, and then there's these crazy people, shaking the fucking thing, going like that. It looked like a literal, like Freddy Krueger
Hmm.
atmosphere. Yeah.
Hmm.
And the stories that my mom has told me can make you go, "What the fuck?" You know.
Yeah.
And my
Yeah.
wife, though, but point too, she worked at an animal hospital, and she would tell me dreadful stories about certain things with animals there. And
Yeah.
while I'm eating breakfast, we're at a diner, we're eating breakfast. So,
Yeah.
we're doing this, lobotomy thing on the dog and blah, 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 blah,
You're
whatever. And
like, can we hold on to, can we put a pin in this story?
I'm like, I'm
It,
eating. Yeah.
and now I'm not eating anymore.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, go ahead, finish. Yeah. And
I
then
actually
she,
have a funny Pilgrim State story too. My mother's best friend growing up, they went to school, high school together. They had went on some trip to live with my aunt. She was working at a hospital in Kentucky. So when they graduated high school, they went out there. And then this is where the story. My mom comes home to her best friend,
yeah.
and her friend got really paranoid. She was like having like LSD and stuff. She got super paranoid and thought that like the feds were gonna come and kick down the door. So she ate all of the LSD, like just acid touch, just all of it. So this literally destroyed her brain, right? Like she had like a breakdown, not my mom, her friend. When it came back to Long Island, she was always having issues, always having issues. Stayed at home. Finally, when she's probably like in her 40s or so, when Pilgrim State was still open,
Yeah.
they sent her there. Like, you can't be out in society anymore. This is just from that one night, destroyed her brain. So my mom, it's her best friend, right? She's stayed by her this whole time. She would go and visit her at Pilgrim State. And
Huh.
sometimes like I would go with her. And when you came up the elevator to the female ward, there's like two sides. There's two sides. Like there's one door and they're all going crazy there. And then the visitors go like this way. So every time we would come out, there'd be this one woman that's at the door. So it's like that little square in the door with like
Mm-hmm.
the plexiglass or whatever. And
Yeah.
she's just going crazy. She's like banging on it. She's cursing. She's spitting. Like, listen, she's mentally ill. Not making fun of her, but that's just what she was doing. And it would always really frustrate my mother. Me, on the other hand, I would be like, Mom, like she's here for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Like stop. And then my mom would like antagonize her. I'd be like, can you stop? Like, here I am, I'm like 16, and I'm telling my grown ass mother, I'm like, can you not antagonize the patients here? But one day we're coming out and we're about to get in the elevator, go down. And so we go in the elevator bay and the woman's still screaming. So my mom jumps out from the like behind the elevator bay to flip this woman off, like double flipping her off and like that. When I tell you this woman went ape shit, I thought she was gonna break down the door. We got off the elevator, we're walking back to the car, and I looked at her again, 16, my grown ass mother. I'm like, was that necessary? What if she got out? She really would have killed you, and I would have just watched
Yeah.
because you deserved it.
That's and folks, there is underground tunnels to
Yeah.
Pilgrim State. And my dad has told me because my dad used to go and like whenever there was like dead bodies or whatever, they don't go and because there's buildings and buildings and there's
Mhm.
steps and all that. So they would take the tunnels and then they go and bring them. Because given my mom worked there, my dad started working there when he got off the boat from Hungary. So he got a
Yep.
job at Pilgrim State. My grandma worked there. My grandma and my mom worked together. So my grandma was working with my dad, had him meet my mom. My two aunts lived. I mean, my aunt not lived there, but my two aunts. well, when you're doing mandating and everything else, you are living there as it is. So
Yeah.
my two aunts were working there. My uncle was working there. Then I found out a best friend of mine that when I was working at Intimates, he worked there for a couple of years beforehand. And my bartender was working there. So everybody on Long Island has worked there. And I'm like, I might as well go and work
It's
there
true.
too. You
It's
know?
true. You've either
So
worked
there.
there, you've driven past it, you've visited it. There's something. If you are not a true Long Islander if you have not had some sort of contact with Pilgrim State.
So getting to one story I'm going to tell you to jump back to the other story of my friend and his girlfriend. So,
Okay.
so now my wife's telling me about the whole thing with the animals and everything.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I said to her, I'm like, listen, you're gonna have to talk to my mom. And she goes, what about animals? I'm like, you talk about the animal thing and all that. My mom's gonna tell me where she worked at. I didn't tell my wife where my mom worked at. So I'm like, listen, I'm gonna drop you off. I need to clear my head anyway. I'm gonna go back to the diner and finish my fucking eggs. And I'll come back in a half hour. And all of a sudden, now the stories I say now because this is the same stories that my mom has told her.
Okay.
So the stories that my mom has told me that she reiterated to her was that there's these two twins, and one would go on one side of the room, the other one would go to this side of the room and run full speed and knock heads like bulls. Fall to the ground, get back up, start all over again.
What?
Yeah. So and then yeah, now you're like a nurse or whatever or assistant nurse, and you're seeing this shit. You're like, okay, what am I supposed to fucking do? So
Yeah.
that's one. And then my mom always had cigarettes. She never smoked, so I grabbed those cigarettes a couple of times, and I would grab a pack and smoke.
Yeah.
Which you always done when you were like high school or whatever, And so I was smoking cigarettes, and my mom's like, "No, that's fine. I got like four more. We go, for work or whatever." And then there was a woman that like you said would go crazy, behind the door or whatever. And my mom would not antagonize her because that's like the worst thing you would ever have to do to
Yeah.
antagonize a patient or
You
whatever.
hear that, Mom? You hear that?
So
Unreal.
yeah, Mrs. B. No. Uh, but so my mom had cigarettes, and then there's this woman that would come up and she would scream bloody murder that I want a cigarette, blah 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 blah. And she
Okay.
wouldn't give him the cigarette yet, but then the woman would kneel down, or not even kneel, like squat down and piss on the floor in front of my mom until she gave her a cigarette.
Oh my.
So
Okay.
then my mom give her the cigarette away. And then there's other people, whatever, my mom have seen the electric shock treatment thing going on,
Mhm.
this, that, she's seen it all. And my dad's seen it all. So he's pushed, like I said, the dead bodies in the tunnel going this way.
Mhm.
Everybody has dealt a hand in everything. So now getting to where my wife would go and have this story, they're going back and forth about different things. And then now my mom brings up something that I did not know. So I had a uncle, I forgot what the guy's name is, Marvin, I think, or Avis or whatever. I don't know what his uncle was, like a late uncle. It was like my grandpa's brother or something. So it's to the point where my grandma would not work with this guy in Pilgrim
Oh.
State. So he was the guy that would
Okay.
drive to go and pick up the dead bodies or whatever and bring them around or whatever.
Yeah.
So this guy was the practical joker of the group. And when he did the practical joking, he would do it with dead bodies. And he grabbed this one dead body, not grabbed, but
Oh
he set the
no.
dead body in the passenger side of the vehicle and had the invisible fishing wire on at the eyelids and have it right here. So, and folks, you can see how my weird sense of humor comes from. And I would not do this. I would not do this at all. I would, everybody that's listening to this, there's a
Oh
disclaimer. Do not do this shit. Don't.
yeah, dude, it's really wrong.
yeah,
and
it, it
illegal.
it's illegal. You're not supposed to be doing this when you're there. But this is like 1970 something or 60
Doesn't
something.
make it better.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, but it's like 60 something, so they were like lenient or whatever.
yeah,
So he would
yeah.
go and he would try to pick up chicks with his dead body,
Stop.
and then he
No.
say, and he goes, hey, how you doing? Hey, oh, you know, Bob, wake up, Bob, and he'll go, "Phoom," and then the eyelids would come up, and then he'll be looking
Oh,
straight at you. So, and I'm like, that was the story that my mom told my wife at the thing. And I came and I picked her up and she got in the car and I'm like, so how'd it go? She goes, your mom wins. Yeah. She had the better story. She
oh
goes,
my
I
God.
am not gonna fuck around with your family. I'm like, we're still getting married, right? She goes, yeah. We're just
Yeah,
not
come
we're not gonna get into, you know. But then there was another thing where you had to we had this cousin, all right. Not a
Let's
bad
just
thing.
call him cousin.
Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. You know,
Okay.
it's not a bad cousin. She just tends to talk a lot. You know, like if you
Oh,
sit there, you're like that you have to meet the cousin that everybody's like, listen, we've been there, done that, whatever, blah
yeah.
blah blah. So we sit there in the kitchen. I think it was like Thanksgiving, and so I'm sitting here, you know, my wife's sitting here, my cousin over here. I'm like, you want something to drink? And she goes, yeah, I'll take this. I'm like, all right, I'll be back. I did not come back for like an hour, and there's my cousin talking or blah blah blah. I would not, you know, like let her leave until she has said her piece. And then all of a sudden, when she got out of there, my wife looked at me and she goes, "You're an asshole." And
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like she would not let me leave. Now, when she said this, my sister-in-law that my brother was married to, or still is married to,
Yeah.
um, she comes over and she has like the tray of food. We're at her house, and it's like, listen, I had to do it too. Welcome to the family, and that was it. Yeah, and
It's
then
like the family hazing
yeah, it was like the hazing, you know. So that was the thing. If you can go and sit there and talk to her, and my
and
girlfriend has,
not lose your shit.
yeah, I mean, and my girlfriend has talked to, you know, so and so, my
Mhm.
cousin. We call it numerous of times, and she's like, yeah, she is out there, you know. So so folks,
There's always one in
yeah,
the
I mean,
family.
folks, everybody has uh, that's someone that you know you don't want to meet, but if it came down to it, you're gonna have to meet them. You know,
Hmm.
and that's why I like you know all these like crazy family horror movies. Like, oh look, you know, hey, Uncle Jethro, come on in. You know, put the cat down. I know he's dead, but put him down. You know, it's like, but he's furry. No, I know, but
My
yeah,
whole family is stalkers. Like not the crazy aggressive ones, but they're true New Yorkers, they're true Long Islanders. They talk really loud.
oh yeah,
They talk over each other. Like that's the normal. My first time my husband met them, he's like, "Why do they keep yelling at each other?" I'm like, "They're not. They're this is actually pretty timid."
no, they're
And
talking, they're
I'm
talking.
yeah, they're just talking. I
Yeah.
am the weird one out of the family because I've always been not like quiet. I can be rowdy too, but I'm the one that'll sit there like I don't really need to interact with
You're
anybody here. Am I?
you're nice and relaxed, laid back. Everybody else is just like, what the fuck? And they're like, yeah, yeah, okay, you know. Anyway, so
Yeah,
how you
yeah,
doing? You know,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna yeah, I'm gonna have you do this and drink this potion. No.
I'm the person that the family comes to talk during like Thanksgiving or a holiday
Yeah,
or whatever, any gathering, when they want a break. Like when they need a breather, they come sit down next to me, like, hey, how's it going? What do you
yeah.
go to?
I'm like the uncle that comes in. I'm like, you know, and then I got three nephews and a niece. And honestly, I said this many times on this podcast that my niece is going to take over the world. I can see this now. You know, it's just like, could she she what's that? She is she's like has she's on the spectrum.
Autistic?
Uh, huh?
She's autistic?
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah.
But back then, years ago, they didn't think of autism.
Mm,
They figured, oh, he's
yeah.
just that age. Like me.
Mm,
They but I'm not gonna get into that story. That's just weird.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but my sis, my niece is like I call her the little Viking, and she like when she was younger, she'll go ah, like I'm like the little Viking, like
I
ah,
like it.
Now it's like she's like up to my shoulder now. She's like 8 or 9, and
Oh wow, she's tall.
she's very tall and lanky, kind of legged. Um, and she's like she'll look at like she can name every president, whatever. You tell her like a year, she'll tell you the president. Do this. She watches YouTube. When she was 3, she can get on YouTube and get my dad to get on YouTube without even fucking batting an eye. You know,
Mm,
and then
she's like a little savant.
she fixes she fixes the TV that's wrong with the channel.
Hmm.
My mom was like, okay, I can't get this to go, and then my niece is like, I'll be right there. And then fix it like kink 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 kink. Okay, it's all done. Don't screw it up again, Grandma. And then that's it. And then she'll walk away. You know. And then that's why I'm like, she is going to take over the world. She's going to be like that person that's going to get arrested about 17 fucking times, and I'm
Mm,
going to have to bail her out you know, or
with a
know the person,
smile.
or know the person that is the cop that probably arrested her, and like, it's like, yeah, you gotta come down and get her again. Yeah, so I finally got her to calm down, and she's making the other people crazy. Let's go. No, but
She's riling everyone up. I'm pretty sure
no,
it's
but
gonna be a
she
prison
and
riot.
yeah, I mean, she's not. The doc. I don't want to get into the doctor specifics, but
Mm,
there's like certain things that aspect to the point where you're, the word that you mentioned, I still can't remember the name. Um,
autistic?
yeah, thank you. Autistic and all that. So it's like there's like 15 to like 20 things that can label her autistic. And the guy said
Mm,
I can only find like 2 or 3. So she's an average kid, but they
yeah.
would label it autistic. But I mean, she's very bossy. She'll scream for no reason. I'm not saying it in a bad thing, but there's like this stuff where the shit comes out of her mouth. It's just like hilarious. Like she has a boyfriend, but she doesn't want to tell everybody that she has a boyfriend.
Oh.
At like age 8 or whatever, and I would tease her, like I always do. I'm like, I go, so I hear you have a boyfriend. She goes, no, no,
No.
he's a friend. I'm like, but he's a boy. And all of a sudden she goes, well, technically, yeah,
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do you do with this? And then I'm like, what is this I hear that grandma's telling me that you're talking to this boy at 2 o'clock in the morning? I'm like,
Ooh.
isn't it past your bedtime? It's like, well, his parents let him stay up that late. I'm like, but your parents don't. I'm like, I know your mom. She's my sister. She's not gonna let you stay up no 2 o'clock in the morning.
This sounds serious. This
Yeah,
sounds
I don't
serious.
know. So then I'm like, well, what's the friend's name? And I'm like, and then she said the name. I forgot what the name was. And I'm like, really? I'm like, does Uncle John know? And my brother's name is John, so he goes, does Uncle John know about him? It's like, oh, please don't say anything. It's like I don't want you and him to talk.
Yes.
She goes, it's bad enough Grandpa knows about him.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh, okay,
That's
all right,
funny.
no problem. But then I would go and tease her a little bit more here and there. She goes, stop it, stop talking about it. But and then she'll come by and she'll, oh, look at my LOLs, which people, if
Yeah.
you don't know what LOLs are, they're these miniature little girl toys, that they
Mm.
can dress up and whatever folks, when I say this to you that they're little toys that you dress up, they're not Barbie dolls. They look like little
Mhm.
fucking hookers.
They
They
do.
they're little fucking hookers, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'd rather have her play with Barbie dolls than
Yeah.
I mean, let alone there's a Barbie movie. I'm like, what the?
I think those little LOL does have like if you take all their clothes off, they have like lingerie painted onto their bodies.
Yeah.
I
I'm
was
like,
like,
there's one that's a
oh,
bumblebee looking one, and I'm like, that's stripper stuff.
yeah, yeah,
And then,
yeah.
like I said, my niece is like taking over the world kind of thing. We call it, she said that. I'm like, it's like she has like stripper stuff, and she goes, Uncle Andre, how do you know about strippers?
I don't.
I they had to go to college somehow, and
They're going to nursing school.
I actually had an interaction with not an interaction, but um I don't know if you ever gone to strip clubs or not,
Yeah,
but with the
lots of
biker
them.
kind of family, you
Mhm.
might have. So me and my friend John, we go to this go-go bar, strip bar kind of thing, and folks, if you don't know what the difference between a go-go bar and a strip bar is, the go-go bar is a topless. Basically, that's it. They
Mm.
have their attire down below, but
Mhm.
they go topless, and that's about it. Strippers, they do the whole shebang. Not she bangs, but shebang. Um,
Or maybe
and,
she bangs.
yeah. And so then we call it, like go and we go to this thing and we go to a go-go bar or semi strip bar kind of thing and you see these strippers or the go-go dancers. They're like they're like worn out. They don't know they should dance because the wrong music is on. You know,
Oh,
like the people there, they're like older guys and all that. They're like, there's Elvis playing in the background, which I have nothing against Elvis, but Elvis should not be in a go-go bar slash strip bar. You
yeah.
know,
There's not a lot of like gyrating.
yeah, you don't. I
I think
mean,
that's
he
the.
does gyrate, but
It's a different
yeah,
kind. It's the kind of way
yeah,
Elvis
yeah. I
did.
know it's a different one, but so I walk in there and I'm like, and I'm like, I love heavy metal. I love heavy metal. I listen to any kind of metal there is, speed, hard rock, metal, whatever, hair metal, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I get in there and I'm looking. I'm like, let me see what we got here. Looking at the jukebox, and folks, there is a thing called a jukebox.
Hmm.
Nowadays everybody's like, oh, you go on the internet, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, there's a place that you had jukebox. Well, anyway, so look it up, and you'll be astounded because most kids now don't even know what a fucking payphone looks like.
It's like a
Um,
payphone or like a disc or a VHS.
or the
That
cassette tape, the cassette tape.
yeah, yeah, cassette tape or a
Yeah,
fax machine.
yeah,
Those are the ones where they're just
yeah.
trust me. But but there is a new type of jukebox out, so they probably know what a jukebox is because it's. I've seen them in bars. They're attached to the wall. They're all like digital, and
Oh
they
yeah,
actually have an app that you can do. So they probably know what a jukebox is.
yeah,
They
yeah.
just have a different version of it.
Yeah, different vision of it, and they can do the things with their phones or whatever, blah blah blah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pay
But
for
this one, like
that.
you have to put money and push a
Yeah.
button.
So I get to this jukebox and I get in there and I'm going around, I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, I like this band. So I put on White Zombie, you know, and
Yes.
White Zombie, Rob Zombie, he's like a director, but he was in a band called White Zombie. Let me just write this
I
down.
just saw him in concert a couple months ago.
Oh my God, he's awesome.
I
Um,
love him. It was
you know,
Power Man 5000 and um
which is
oh my
his
god.
brother actually. So
Yeah, and there
and
was another. Oh my god.
yeah,
Anyway, continue. I'll figure out what
yeah,
the
Spiders is his brother that's in Power Man 5000. Um,
mm-hmm.
wait, let me just write this down. Power Man 5000. Um, but I put on More Human Than Human,
Yeah.
the song. So I put that in there. Comes on, fucking plays. I never seen dancers more alive. It's like
Because
zombies that just became human, you know. And all of a
I
sudden,
mean that song is yeah.
no, but it's like more upbeat, and it has
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
little moaning here and there, and
It's a
and then
bisexual song.
the one stripper, she stopped and she goes, "Thank you." Yeah, I'm like, no,
Oh, okay. So the older guys in there are the ones that are like putting on Elvis and stuff.
yeah, yeah, they're like pointing and singing,
Oh,
and then the strippers or the dancers are like, "Oh, can you play this?" "Oh, that's not our kind of music." You know, then why are you here? You know,
yeah.
well, I'm here to see you and give you all our retirement checks. Here,
Oh my God.
But that's like the funniest thing that I witnessed, and I'm like, my friend John looked at me, and goes, "Man, you're a savior." I'm like, "Oh, only for this because I was like gonna leave." Because I mean I love Elvis, but it's not good for an establishment like this.
You saved the
But
day.
I saved the day. That was it. I did my daily deed as a Long Island patron. Yeah, not Patreon, but patron. So, um, but have you have any I was gonna say drunken war stories. That's why I always call it. I call it drunken war stories. So, but
I have actual drunken war stories too. So
you're on Long Island. You have drunken war stories. Everybody else has their whole like, I'm gonna tip cows. I'm gonna do this. Hey, we're gonna go and shave the sheep. I'm like, really? No. Long Island, you just go to different bars and then try to make it home. Yeah.
yeah, I went to a bar in I think it was Babylon. I think it was called the Nutty Irishman. And yeah, so I got in there with a fake ID because I was not 21 at the time. I think I was like
Oof.
16.
Same, same, LB. Same, same.
So my really good friend's sister, her older sister who was 21, we basically are doppelgangers. So she would always give me her ID. Her name's Deirdre. Hi, Deirdre. So come in, and they had this new drink, and it was called the Red Devil. And they
Oh
just
yeah.
in a big plastic cup. It's just red. It tastes like fruit punch, like
Yeah.
Hawaiian
Yep.
fruit punch.
Yep. I had
And
it.
I was like, yeah, okay. So I took one and I, finished it. I'm like, that's nothing, whatever. I had the second one, um, ordered a third one. But the thing is, what my brain hadn't caught up with yet was that before I even finished the first one, I was wasted because it has so much alcohol in it and you can't taste it. So I had the first one already wasted. My body's like, brain just hadn't caught up yet. Had the second one, finished it. I was halfway through the third where I was like, oh, I am, I might black out. I didn't though. I've only blacked out once in my life. That was when I was 19. And it was the last I could remember, it was 11 shots of tequila. I woke up in my shower and it was running and I was naked and
Those are the
so confused.
that that
Yeah.
that's like the story to tell. We call it when you end it with saying, like, I was in the shower, asleep, naked.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got there. Yeah. That's,
Thank good for God for good girlfriends because it was
yeah.
my really good friend at the time. That's what woke me up. She was banging on the door. She's like, "Are you alive?" I'm like, "Yes, I,
Yeah.
yes,
I'm clean.
yes."
I'm
I'm
clean.
like, "It's dark in here," and she's like, "Just rinse off and get out." I'm like, "Oh." So they had basically, we got home and they stripped me down and threw me into the shower and just turned the water on.
Yeah. It just,
So I
it
don't
just,
know what I had done, but apparently I needed a shower.
yeah. So, host of Dick Tales, here's another story for, because she had the same kind of thing that she said that, that it was like she was drunk and she was in the shower and she doesn't know how she got there. Well, she probably did, or something happened. I don't know. There was something about,
It'll come back later.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'll come back later. She's gonna listen to this and like, what the fuck? And then she goes, no, it was this. And I'm like, okay, sorry. You know, but Carrie, I'm sorry, Carrie from Dick Tales,
Mhm.
Um, but my Uh, it wasn't me. Mine's more driving oriented, let's just say.
Okay,
Uh,
all right, all right.
so I'll do the one driving oriented, but I want to tell a story about a friend of mine, which it was like the funniest shit ever. And it does include bringing the guy home and everything else. But
Okay.
my story was I went to this I was working at this place and then we all went out for drinks and they had these test tube shots. The waitress would walk around these test tubes and they had like uh melon balls, I think they're called.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the best ones. I love them, but they
Yeah.
creep up on you.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Mm-hmm.
creep on you. If you have this like one, two, okay, you're fine. If you get to like 15 to 20, it'll creep up on you and hit you right in the ass.
Did
Because
you say
it
15 or 20?
yeah, well, that's what happens. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the melon balls are very sweet, so you can
No,
do a
I
certain.
know.
So I did that, and I drove to my favorite bar that I go to, which is like my second home, which everybody has their second home,
Yes.
in a bar wise. So I went there, and I was drinking at pitchers of beer, like a Viking. Yeah. So a friend of mine, he
Just
had.
throwing it down, going another.
Yeah, well, no, but then I had I used this little stir straw that you can just like you drink out of, and my bartender friend, which he's not the real bartender friend, but this one's like a friend of that turned into a bartender.
Got it.
I don't know if that doesn't make any sense, but anyway,
It does.
it's a bartender sense, it's a
Yeah,
drinking
yeah,
sense,
yeah, yeah.
but we I get there and I'm drinking out this pitcher of beer and like a Viking, and all of a sudden he goes, "Listen," he goes, "I got this from Taco Bell, and I think this kind of suits the purpose that you're not going to be drinking this like very irresponsibly." I'm like, "Okay, what'd you get?" And he got me like one of those big, swirly straws, like Nestle kind of like,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Like a sponge
yeah,
straw. Yeah.
yeah. But this one had a Halloween eyeball in the middle,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
And then he took this thing and put it in there, and it looked cool. And I'm walking around and I'm drinking this whole thing. I got on my fourth pitcher of beer by myself after having the 15 fucking test tube shots at another bar. And I get over there, and then I'm drinking the thing, and I'm walking around. I take the eyeball out of the thing, and I'm rolling it down the bar table. It goes right past people. They're like, "Hey, I don't like." Oh, shit, what the hell was that? You know, and it scared the crap out of me, which was funny as hell. But then now I have to drive home. So I live basically, I'm not gonna say around the corner, but I lived in Bayshore. So this
Oh,
is
okay. Yeah. Hmm.
so Bayshore back in the 90 early, not early 90s, but like the middle 90s towards the end 90s or something. There was like a bar scene all the way down Main Street.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was at a bar called well, I went to my favorite bar called Garfield's. I don't know if you remember it or not, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a bar called Garfield's, which is named after obviously the cartoon Garfield. Uh,
Hmm.
and go down there, and I'm having the pictures of beer and everything else, and I'm driving home. So now I'm like, I live near the junior high school of Bayshore,
Hmm.
like in that area, and so then all of a sudden I'm making a right from the train tracks. Now we're talking about train tracks, and I make a right, and there's like this road right next to the train track. Well, I thought I was on the road next to the train tracks,
Oh no.
and I'm like, why is this road so fucking bumpy?
Yeah.
To the point where I see a train light coming towards me, and I
No.
back up, and then that's when you turn in sober really fucking quick.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had those
And
moments where I'm like, I'm sober now.
yeah, and then I back up, I got out of there, and then my heart was racing. I got home, and then I called one of the secretaries that was at that bar, not the bar, but the one before. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I almost got hit by a train. She goes, what, like broadside? I'm like, no, kind of like driving towards it almost.
Huh. Like head on.
Yeah. So that was like the strangest thing. And she goes, "Oh my God, Andre, da 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 da." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, I know." So anyway, now we get into the story about my friend. this is this is the funniest shit I was witness to. So my friend Jesse calls me up. He goes, "Hey, Tom came to visit from college. It's his birthday. I'm taking him out. We are at this bar down the street. Not 90 Irishman, but it was called Double and Up.
Okay.
It was called 90 Irishman afterwards.
Yeah.
So we get to this one bar, and it's called it used to be called Atrium, but now at that time it was called the Double Cork Inn, where it was like a bar that was more for darts.
Got it.
So I get down there, you know, I get down there, and they're drinking. But I mean, my friend was drinking beer, and that was it. But we would get down and we give him shots, and his birthday, and he's doing vodka shots, which
Oh,
we were,
oh.
but we were drinking water. He was drinking vodka shots, but he thinks we were doing
Oh.
vodka shots.
Okay.
So, but we were, the whole time we had a friend that's a bartender behind the bar, and he's like, "Hey, let's make up different shots." So we made up one called the Stony Soldier,
Oh.
the abortion, there was like we had names, and it looked like the names, that we did. And mind you, we had like no mind frame of what we're doing. And our friend goes to the bathroom. There was a guy that was in the bathroom before. He comes out and he goes, "Was there an earthquake out here?"
What?
And all of a sudden, like, "No, why?" It's like, "Well, there's a guy, and it looks like he can't. He's trying to hold on to the wall, going back and forth. Like, what is twisting everywhere?" And all of a sudden, we're like, "It's working. He's getting drunk. He thinks he can't get drunk that fast." And I'm like, "Oh well." So we went to different bars after that.
Oh well.
Yeah, it was like a thing. He tried to get us drunk when we were visiting him in college, and now we're getting him back.
It's only right.
It's only right.
Mm.
And so we come back and we go to different bars, and he's still standing. He has Goldschlager, and he's drinking this, and he's
Mm.
drinking whatever you could think of. So we get to Garfield's, and now it's Friday night, basically. Well, it was Friday night when we started, but Friday into
We've now
Saturday.
entered Saturday.
Yeah, entering Saturday
Okay.
morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. We get to Garfield's and we go in there and it's packed. It's always like doing that
Mm.
like on a Friday. You got your Hell's Angels, you got your disco jockeys, you got your
Mm-hmm.
you got your guys playing pool and darts, whatever. Sit at the bar. We said to our friend, the bartender, he's like, "Pat, it's his birthday, and we got him drunk, but we want to get him more inebriated than the way he is." It's like, "Well, you want to do?" It's like, "Let's give him Strohs." And all of a sudden, he goes, "Strohs." He goes, "Oh no." He goes, "You know how that is. You guys went through this shit, and you're gonna put this on him." It's like
Yeah.
he doesn't come to this bar. He goes, "True, true. Okay. No problem." And also we give him the Stroh's shot. Now, folks, if you don't know what Stroh's is a hard liquor that when you pour it into the glass, it's like caramel looking. It's like suntan lotion
Mm.
caramel kind of thing. You drink it, it oozes down your throat and it
Ugh.
burns going down. It's like lava.
I would.
Basically, that's
Yeah,
what.
I would gag.
So he had this. He was annihilated at like the fact that he had this,
Mm.
and he was sitting next to the jukebox. There's a jukebox, but they had a DJ. They had a DJ booth in the front where they had the mirror ball. They had the thing, but the DJ would come and get his drink, walk back. He sees our friend like this, like asleep on the jukebox.
Oh, geez.
Like sitting in the chair. His dad and listen to our friend the DJ's walking by like this. He's walking by from no, 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 like this, and then he stops and he's like, "Holy!" It's like, "Pat, they fucking killed him." Yeah,
I
he's
don't
dead
think
in the
he's
corner.
breathing.
He's dead in the corner. And all of a sudden, the bartender's just like, "You can't
Oh
have
my
him that
god.
way." It's like, "You guys gonna have to go home. It's like 4 o'clock anyway. We're gonna
Yeah.
close up." And I'm like, "All right, all right." So we get in my
You
friend.
got him cut off.
Yeah, they kind of saw that, and so we go, and he's basically passed out. So that's what we
Yeah.
wanted to do.
Yeah.
So now we're bringing him home, and
Mhm.
so it's 4 o'clock in the morning. We're dragging his ass out. He threw up all over the side of my friend's Trans Am. Yeah,
Oh.
like, and you can smell that shit, like, because me and my friend Jesse, we worked at the same work. So when he
Mhm.
came in, he goes, "It took me 3 hours." He goes, "I didn't get that much sleep, and that's why I'm late to work." So he goes, "I had to
Oh.
clean this thing off because Tom puked all over the side of it." And I was like, okay,
Oh.
but then we brought him into the house, and got the key,
Yeah.
got in there, and his dad is like, he knows us, he loves us. He's like, guys, whatever you do, I trust you guys with him. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he's an asshole sometimes, but we trust you to take care of him and all that. So we bring him, we drag him up there, plop him on the bed. That was it. It was like, and he hands us like fucking like $10 each. I was like, you didn't have to do that. It's like we could have done that for free. He goes, yeah,
Hopefully you
but
laid him down on his side.
yeah, like in the bed. So he was laying down there. And then the next day, we went to the movies. So he was like sunglasses, and he's like, he looked like Beetlejuice, just sitting there going, I'm not going
Yeah.
to sleep past that. So that's like the funniest. Uh, there's other ones, but we'll do that like another time because I mean it is getting kind of late. Um,
And
it's like,
we could probably go for hours with
oh, I
these
know,
stories.
no, definitely, like if I didn't have to work, um, like say like tomorrow because I got to work, like I said, the second job,
Yeah.
so I got to be there by 8 o'clock in the morning. Um, I've been doing this like until like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. Yeah. I mean, folks, it's like we have like a chemistry because we're in Long Islanders. We know the shit. We
Yeah.
know what each other, where the place that they're talking about. This is like the best besides Scott from Shoot the Flick and all
Flick,
that.
yeah.
This is another person that I can relate stuff to, and,
Being from Long Island is a special bond
and especially
because
when you do this, when you think,
yeah,
you
nobody else understands.
especially when you got other friends going, it's like, listen, I go like this. I don't know how they do that with the wrist. Like, you know, they come over here. Well, anyway, so
And also, we are the only ones that are allowed to talk shit about Long Island.
oh yeah, yeah, we can talk shit about it anyway.
Because,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
oh no, yeah. But when it comes to Long Island, I'd be like, oh my God, Long Island's blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. And somebody's like, yeah, Long Island was trashy. I'm like, you shut your fucking whore mouth. How dare you speak that to me?
Yeah. It's
Be
like,
dead to
listen,
me.
you don't know the facts of like when you go to Woolworths and you go into Lowe's theaters and you go to Plain
Yes.
and all that stuff. So it's like,
Do you know how
oh,
many Scream movies I saw at Comac,
oh,
the theater?
you know how many shots been heard at Comac?
That also that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a bad reputation right there. It's like
Yeah.
that's
I
why I
did have to
love.
start going to Farmingdale when they opened up the big
Oh,
theater.
yeah. The reclining seats. Like, oh,
Yes, that was like luxury. And then they had that, I don't know if how many times you've been in this area, but so they built like the big Farmingdale one where like, oh my God, this state of the art, it's the future. But then there was the other Farmingdale theater that was down the road, like Route 110 a little bit.
yeah,
And
yeah.
but
Starbucks and
yeah. But they what they would do, and it was so frustrating, is because they would alternate who was showing the movies.
yeah,
Like they would not show the same movies.
yeah,
And I hated it when it was at the smaller one because that one sucked.
yeah. But it was right next to so when you get out of there, like at night, you're like, listen, I'm tired. You just go right to Starbucks and you just get a fucking coffee.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
do remember that Starbucks. Yeah.
you go to that Starbucks and then all of a sudden, if you feel like antsy or something, you go and do the golf hitting range. Right next door.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right next door. Yeah. They have
Yeah,
the
they're like,
little airfields across the highway.
yeah, but there was also a gentleman's club, I think, across the way as well. I think the next door.
Uh,
I forgot the name of it, but I didn't go over there. But I heard friends of mine go there, and they heard there was a dancer I knew back in the day, and no, it's not Frankie. It's not Frankie. I know I keep on.
didn't they open a country bar too? Like not like a true country bar, but like it had like a country name
Yeah,
on.
but I don't. That's probably the gentleman's club that probably had that country name.
Oh, wait, is that the one that had like the moose on the sign?
Yeah,
Why am
I
I
I know
remembering a
what you're
moose?
talking about, but
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
I have the image in my head. I just don't know if it is that the same one.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, there is one called Moose Lodge. Um, oh my God, now I just thought of this one place that I had like dissolved in the back of my head, and now it just dissolved back in, and then it was called Beaver Creek.
Yeah.
And folks, do not go to a place called the Beaver Creek. I'm gonna tell you this now because I don't know if they still have this. Because when I used to go to strip bars with my friends, and we always gone to like, there's one called Skin Games, there's one called the Forbidden Fruit, there was one
Mhm.
called Stonehenge, which is my favorite one. Um, but then there was like other ones too, and then we got to this one called Beaver Creek, and it looked like if their grandma was still stripping.
Oh.
And I get in there, and I'm like, and now I'm like, I'm drunk off my ass, and I'm like, okay, it's a strip club. I see other, okay, yeah. And I said to my friend Key, I'm like, where the fuck are we? He goes, well, they have alcohol. I'm like, well, yeah, but where are we? He goes, it's called Beaver Creek. I'm like, okay, I get the synopsis of the whole thing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
I'm tracking,
but
I'm tracking.
you know, I got that. You know, it's like Beaver Creek, okay, da da da. You know, but are there like nice looking strippers in there? He goes, I don't really know. I've never been here. I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting for both of us. All of a sudden, after I'm like, the hell's Grandma doing here? You know, and
Oh.
it was just like, folks, I know I want to get a rating on the show, but uh, yeah, just like please, bring Gerald Hall and and don't bring any tips.
So I will definitely one up you on the stripper story because I was in the army and I was stationed at
How can
Fort
you one
Bragg.
up Grandma? How can you one up?
Oh, just wait for it. I was
I
in the
oh,
army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Fayetteville, which is we call it Vietnam. There's two strip clubs out there, Sharkies and Secrets. They're right next to each other. And I went out with some of my like platoon mates who got out there, and I'm telling you, there was a stripper that was pregnant, very pregnant. Also had bullet like wound scars on her, and also had a prosthetic leg.
Frankie, she got us beat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how that can happen.
And there was one part of her set where she took the leg off.
She's no good.
I don't know where you can go from that. I feel like if this were a competition, I won.
You definitely do. Yeah. I'm going back to drinking. Whew. Okay. It's almost like a. You ever heard of a comedian? I forgot what his name is. He did this joke, and he talks about the 5 stages of drinking. Larry something. Larry. His name is Larry.
Okay.
So he goes and he does his 5 stages of drinking, and
Mm.
he goes, oh, you know, you go to that bar and you go and hanging out with your coworkers, and you're just like having a great time, and it's like, oh, I'm just gonna come in, have a beer or two, and I can have 7, 8 hours of sleep, and I'll be great, just like that
Yeah,
in the morning.
yeah,
But then you figure, oh, you're having a great old time when the guy buys you tequila shots, down at the end of the bar, and you buy the bar, the guy at the end of the bar a drink because you like the way he looked, and like, there, have a bit. And if it's, you know, 6 hours until you have to go into work, it's like, that should be good, no problem.
yeah.
But then you go and see the bartender is the devil, and he's pouring the drinks, so he goes on and he's talking about that. The devil, or actually, the devil was on somebody's shoulder. Now the devil is the
Mm.
bartender. And then all of a sudden he goes, then you go and hit that guy at the end of the bar because he was walking on your artificial turf. You know, when then all of a sudden he goes on about, he goes, and then after you go to the tattoo place to argue, to try to get your money back, you go, I don't know a guy named Ruby, you know, that's tattooed on your ass. and and then you go, and then you're going to another bar. You're like, well, if I have 3 hours of sleep and
I can still get shit done. Yeah.
another case of blood to go into my system, I'd be great to go. And he goes on, and then he goes, well, and then you find out who Ruby is, and it's the waitress from the bar, that has fresh stitches in her head, you know,
Oh,
that limps with one leg.
oh my god.
And you're like, I love this bar, and I love that girl that's waitressing, And then all of a sudden you're still partying, and then the devil is like, uh, no, I can't stay. I got that brunch with Hitler,
Yeah. I'm cutting you off.
Yeah, it's like I gotta go. So, but folks, this is like an awesome time. I don't say that a lot. I mean, I do say a lot, but this is like extra awesome because it's like fellow countrymen, some
A
um
Long Islander.
the Long Island, believe me, when I was in Pennsylvania, I had a southern accent, and when I moved back, nobody didn't realize that I was a Long Islander. So
Yeah, no, it's true.
yeah,
When my family comes up here, it's just night and day. And my kids all the time are like, "Why don't you sound like grandma? Why don't you sound like Uncle Steve?" And I'm like,
yeah,
"Listen."
it's crazy how that goes, but we all have everything in common. Well, me and Mel have a lot of things in common as it is. Um,
I
she
feel like
beat
we're
me.
gonna do this again.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I would love to go and do this again. Definitely, there's going to be a part two. There might be a part three, part four. It's gonna. It might be a series. It's
Yeah.
going to have our own book
All
series.
of a sudden, my name is just on the podcast as the co-host.
Pretty much.
That's really my plan. It's my master plan. I'm just going to start taking over podcasts as I go through them.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, I've been thinking about having a second partner coming in, so it's like I can't do stuff by myself again. So if you want to do another podcast, I'm more than welcome to come aboard. We can
Every
talk.
Friday, 8:30. I got you.
Yeah, we could do Fridays and all that. It's like we call it the Friday Long Island Lounge, or
Yes.
something like that. But I don't drink, so I'll be like, I don't drink anymore. But I will be like the designated buddy. So like, all right, yeah,
I wouldn't do that too. I wouldn't drink. I was just bringing like my Coke, bring my little mini can of Coke.
there you go. That's why I forgot to bring my drink too. I usually have like a big gulp of like Dr. Pepper or something. But yeah. So tell everybody where they can find you and what bar you might be in, and
Okay.
watch out for the light. Watch out for the light, people. Watch out.
Okay, so we have two podcasts, Read, Watch, or DNF. You can find that everywhere that you stream. We've made sure we've loaded it on everything, so it's Apple, Spotify, like Google, Amazon, all of them. It's everywhere. So you can find our links too if you find us on Twitter. Our handle, or our display name is the Bitches Be Podcasting. But if you do at Read Watch DNF, you'll find us. We have our links in there. And then if you want a simple, funny show, come listen to DNF Happy Hour. We're typically trashed and we're just talking about ridiculous books.
I want to be part of that one. I want to go and meet the other person on the line too. See who you've been. You know, I'm going to make you do this. I'm going to make you do that.
I should, yeah, you know what? Next time when they're available, we should set this up again so we can just have them on here too and you can talk to them. They are the loves of my life. I have Jackie D is my bestie, she's my co-host, but then A is also our best friend. And she's she's a character. Jackie's a little bit more reserved, but there's some stuff that comes out of her mouth sometimes that I'm like,
Now, are they Long Islanders as well, or
no, no, no. So Jackie's the one from Pittsburgh.
okay? No, I know that
And
one. Yeah, but I wasn't sure about the other one.
no, A, she's actually from Alabama.
I've been to Alabama. I went
Mm-hmm.
through there actually to go to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And actually I've seen some shit that wow.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Actually,
she'll tell you all about it.
I mean,
She's not shy.
it. All right, short story. Went to Okefenokee Swamp in Florida. Yeah. So me and my wife went to Okefenokee Swamp, but we
Okay.
had to go into the plane. We had to go to plane to Alabama or Georgia, one of the two.
Okay.
So we go in there and we're driving, and we go to find the motel that we're gonna stay at. But while we're in our drive of Alabama or Georgia, um, we see the prison work detail.
Oh, the chain gang?
Yes.
Yes,
And
they do that.
I started taking pictures. I'm like, they would not believe this at home. Because you only see this like on Smoking the Bandit
Mm-hmm.
and other movies that do chain gangs.
Yeah. From
But
like the turn of the
and,
century.
and folks, if you're younger and you're listening to this, chain gangs are people that are arrested in prison. They do a work detail to work off their time in prison,
Mm-hmm.
where there is security guards with shotguns in plain sight, making sure you're doing
Sometimes
the
on
work,
horses.
and horses too, and they have these gray buses that you see in movies and and all that. So
Yep.
and 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 they eat their pizza not by slices, but just a whole pie. That's it. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. When we do the
Mm-hmm.
second one,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll know a lot more. When we get the whole gang together. But
Yeah,
I'm
Jackie will have some stories for that too, because she actually married a country boy and lived down in Georgia for a while. And now Jackie actually lives in Florida.
oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks. So also, you can follow me at the link. You go to a podcast Tattoo Squid Twitter, or if you can't do that, then just go look for the link tree linktr.ee/T SQUIDPODCAST, all one word. And I used to be a spelling bee champion, so I'm very good right now. And you get all the links like YouTube,
Yeah.
TikTok, whatever you can find on there, and listen and watch the videos. Um, and if you really want to see the pictures or what we just talked about, the episode art, um, go to at podcast Tattoo Squid on Twitter and just look at my page. You'll see everything for each one, and you'd be amazed. You know,
It's
um,
really great. It's some
I'm
wild
like
stuff. Yeah.
this one. I'm gonna try to do my best with a new app. So I'm definitely gonna try to put this out there like Monday, Tuesday, whatever. Since I
Oh,
have
okay.
off on Sunday now because of
Mm-hmm.
Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I can get that done and then after work. So, and it's
Awesome.
been a lovely pleasure meeting you and also reminiscing about old times of different, even though we haven't met each other back then. And I'm like, I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but uh, I'm 50, gonna be 50. So are you in that range?
I'm 36. I'll be 37 in August.
I am older than you. Good guy. Okay. No, you don't look like you're 36. You look 29. So,
Oh, well, hi. I would definitely come
uh,
back to your show.
you always got to do that, folks. You got to like, feel them in there, especially when they have like the sexy librarian look, you know, with the tattoos, no less. So,
I mean, you know what? You're not wrong. You're not
no, not really.
wrong.
It's like, excuse me, where do we find bondage and where we catacombs? It's like, oh, don't follow me. It's down in the basement. Okay.
Follow me.
Yeah,
Exactly. Follow me.
yeah, follow me. And they're like, oh, I didn't know she wore those kind of stuff. Like, well, yeah. Well, anyway, no, folks, I'm just kidding. But
Rosie.
yeah, but ooh, it's a secret. Mm. So like the place secrets with the one leg that she had to take off and hit somebody in the head. Well, anyway, so but she's crying, folks. She's crying. Those are tears.
And I'm not exaggerating. That is exactly what happened.
Yeah, I
Okay,
know.
she had one leg, bullet holes, pregnant.
She was on the set of Rambo, and
Yeah.
and also she has the laugh of Betty Rubble. All she needs to do is go, you know, there, right there. I got her, folks. I got her. Okay,
Trying not to cackle
so
over here because
yeah,
that's likely.
so okay, so you follow me, and you got all the stuff that she said about herself to follow, and please follow and listen, and get like a whole bunch of different aspects of movies, books, and a lot more that comes from the mind of Mel B, not the Spice Girl, which
Well,
I
next time we come together, I will have all of the IKEA furniture that I ordered. It's being delivered on Monday, and I will be putting it all together.
see now that's a podcast right there. That's
Mhm.
it's like you talk about different stuff while they're making a desk. You
That's
know,
it. Like, so that's when you originally messaged me about, and you're like, oh my God, this is a thing
yeah,
about struggling with the should I have it delivered or not? Yeah.
yeah. We'll just name it like Squid and Friends at IKEA. You know,
Yeah.
you know, where we use a wooden leg to screw in
Mhm.
screws using a fingernail.
A hook.
Yeah, and I had my Uncle Marvin come around. Yeah. No, well, he's dead. I don't know. We could dig him up.
Oh, well, oh,
We
okay.
could dig him up after. But anyway, I think I overstepped my bounds, folks. Uh, but like I said, we're gonna have like another session of this down the line. I don't know when. We're gonna see what her time frame would be, and we can do a part two down the line,
Yeah,
which hopefully will be soon. But I know we got like different time frames.
we
So
can figure it out.
yeah, definitely. So folks, take it easy. See you on the flip side. I'm gonna make sure I don't hit the wrong fucking button on this. Hold on. Son of a bitch. All right.
Bye.
No, no, we call that guy just like minimized. Now it's like kind of screwed up. I was like, what the fuck? All right, folks, take it easy. Have a good day. It's Friday night, and I gotta jump in the shower and go to sleep actually. But I'm gonna talk to Mel for a little bit more, and then we'll figure out some stuff. All right.
Yeah.
All right, folks, take it easy. Have a good night. See you
Bye.
later.